All right.
You paid me the 50 cents an hour.
That's right. Hello, everybody. Today is Saturday, May 8th, 2021. Welcome to our Contract Trust Conference call. We're not accountants, tax professionals, lawyers, or currency dealers. We are not engaged in rendering legal, tax, accounting, or other professional advice. Should you require those services, you should retain competent advice from a professional in that field. Thanks for joining us today. My name is Carol Werelius, and my associate Jim Knox and I have these calls every second and fourth Saturday of the month. These calls are recorded and available on our website, indicatorinformation.com, ITDcalls.com, and YouTube. As we get closer and closer to our expected RV, we thought that this would be a good time to review our common law contract trust and why we think it's the best vehicle for you to protect your assets. We will devote most of this call to Q&A, and so just star 6 to raise your hand. And I'd like to start today by thanking all of you for attention and your questions and your business all these years. It really makes me feel good that you're still coming around after all these years. You know, Jim and I feel that our calls are so much better when you participate with your questions. You know, most of us on this call are participants in the seemingly never-ending roller coaster ride in anticipation of the revaluation of certain foreign currencies. It does appear, once again, that we are very close. Our job is to help you protect those assets that you will gain after this RV. Jim and I have both been in the asset protection business for many years. Jim going back to the 80s. My husband, Jay, and I started Indicator Information in 1992. My friend and mentor, Jim Jenkins, with his partner, Bruce, successfully saved many family farms, businesses, and estates with the use of this common law business trust. The same common law business trust we promote today. It has withstood challenges by the IRS and was declared a valid legal entity by the IRS's own expert witness. It was even validated by the U.S. Supreme Court in 1983. The verbiage and format may have changed a bit throughout the years, but it's still the vehicle of choice to protect what you have. Interestingly, the best way to protect your assets is to not own them. With the trust that we provide, you irrevocably exchange your assets into the trust. One of the many benefits of this trust is that you, the original investor exchanger, are eligible to become the first trustee. So that although you no longer own those assets, you still manage them. There's no manager, protector, or anyone else between you and the assets. I know many of you follow Nick Fleming, who was one of the Intel providers. He recently had a call talking about what to expect at the exchange. He mentioned common law trusts numerous times. He also said you must have a tax ID or EIN. We provide both. For many years, we have told you that all you will need at the exchange is your EIN letter and abstract of trust, as you would to open a bank account. It is not necessary to bring the whole trust binder with you. It is expected to be a 15, 20-minute appointment, so they will not necessarily want to see your whole trust, just evidence that you have one. So as I mentioned, this call is mainly Q&A. We do, however, have a few ground rules. Questions should be about trust, not the RV or exchange. You probably know as much or more than we do. We are not qualified to discuss the exchange, so please keep your questions limited to trust. So on that note, I will turn it over to Jim. Good morning, Jim.
Well, good morning, everybody. The couple things I want to add to that we were just stating is when you get the trust, it's complete. There's fill in the blanks. When you get the trust, those you don't have a trust, you'll get it. There'll be little stickers tell you where to sign. It's a very easy process to activate the trust. It takes about 10 minutes. You have to have 3 places notarized. Now, you're not notarizing the trust. There's been some controversy about, use a notary, it's not common law. Well, that may be, but we're not notarizing the trust. We're notarizing the signatures, verifying that, yes, you did sign, and yes, you did do it with your own free will. So the trust is not notarized, folks. So there has been a couple of questions I got lately about that, and I just want to put that out there. Other than that, Carol, let's see what we got for questions.
Okay, we do have a few people in the queue.
Perfect.
Good morning, Carrie.
Yeah, good morning, Carol. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can.
Okay, great. Jim, I have a mother lode trust with you, and what I plan to do is have a management trust, a family trust, and a charitable trust. Can I fund the charitable trust and the family trust by agreement? In other words, can I craft a contract between the creator, between the mother lode and the other two trusts?
Actually, you do it a different way. You can, but the best way is to have the mother lode trust be the investor in those other trusts. This is how this works, folks. So you have a mother lode trust, and then you decide you want a real estate trust. So the mother lode trust would be the investor. You find yourself a creator. Will be the investor. You'll sign the contract that you're setting up, the real estate trust, as the mother lode trust. We'll call it ABC Mother Lode Trust. So it's the investor's ABC Mother Lode Trust, comma, your name, comma, trustee not as otherwise. The limiter, trustee and not as otherwise. That's you're telling the public, you can't come after me personally. You have to come after the trust. I'm just the trustee. I don't own this thing. Then when the mother lode now is the investor, it can fund that trust. And that's not really a taxable event. So that's how you'd move the money in initially. Then you can move it in more and later by contract, and we'll get into that in a little bit here. But that's the procedure that I think is the best way to do that. So your mother lode trust will be the one that creates your real estate trust, your automobile trust, your charitable trust, annuity trust, whatever trust you want.
Etc. Right.
It will be the investor. That makes sense?
The investor, and am I reading that and or the creator?
No, it can't be the creator. You have to have a separate person with the creator.
Okay.
The trust can't create itself, or can't do that. So, in other words, I just can't create it. The trust cannot contract to itself.
Yeah.
So you have to have a creator. It can be anybody.
Yes. Yeah. So we have a creator that creates one of these trusts that we choose to have, and the person that's going to be the executor, or pardon, not the executor, but the investor. So they would be a certificate holder?
Yes. The certificate would be, all the certificates would go to the investor. So
which
now
is the mother lode trust, right?
Right, yeah. Right, the mother lode trust. So the mother lode trust now is the beneficial interest holder of those assets.
Okay.
Through the other trusts.
Right. So that's how we do it in formation, right?
Correct.
You know, when we first create it, that's the way to do that. And then later on, if we wanted to inject more monies into that, then that could be done by contract.
Could be done by contract or loan.
Or loan, right? Okay. All right. Well, thanks very much. You've answered my question.
Perfect. Thank you.
Go RV.
Thanks, Derek. Yeah, really.
Sure.
Okay, Keith, I believe this is your first time calling. Go ahead.
Yes, I'm the freshman around, so I'm happy to be with you guys. A couple questions. First of all, let me take this time and thank all the mothers. Happy Mother's Day. I know we're a day early, but I want to put that out. So, Jim, I really appreciate you working on that Mother Lode Trust. You've delivered very quickly, and I truly appreciate that. It speaks volumes of both you and Carol. The question I have, well, I have several questions. The first one is around the annuity trust. And what's your take as far as having individuals being the trustees, because I'll be the executive trustees, having them sign NDAs?
It's a simple process. So you create an annuity trust. You use the mother to be the investor so you can put the money in there to get it started. And then you go buy the annuity. The annuity comes to the trust. It doesn't come to the individual. So you as the executive trustee can determine who gets paid what. So everybody should be on board with that, and they could be just trustees. And they're actually drawing income from the trust. Now, that doesn't mean that they have to take every dollar personally. It means the trust could, supply them an automobile and a few other things. You can do whatever you want to do. What's unique about this, folks, is this is a contract. You can modify it any way you want. You can't modify the trust, but you can modify the contract between you and your siblings or your children in the annuity trust. I have a personal experience with that right now. I'm setting up one for my brother, and he has some issues, and this is going to take care of him. And he does not know how to manage large amounts of money, and he's got a substantial amount of currency that I'm going to be managing for him. So he and I have decided to just do it through an annuity, so I didn't have to worry about it. And then he's going to have his wealth managers work with him and tell him, okay, you need this amount of money this month, pay all your bills, and the rest of these bills have been paid for by the trust. So that's kind of how it should work.
Yes. What about an NDA? I have close family members, but I'm always kind of leery of someone stepping outside of the circle and just talking about this. So, do you recommend having them sign NDAs? Is it a little too much? What's your thought?
Oh no, absolutely. The deal is on the NDAs, non-disclosure agreement, folks. I'm going to have everybody around me signing those things. If they're going to be around my business, even working with Carol, they're all signing NDAs. Everybody's going to have to sign an NDA to be a party to anything I'm doing. And the reason for this is, back to World War II, they said it perfectly, loose lips sink ships. So in this case, your ship is your estate.
Correct.
So you don't want anybody going out bragging. Come up with a story. I've come up with a great story for my wealth. Sudden wealth is I have a huge family in Scotland. I would tell people, well, I have a family in Scotland. They just like me a lot. They send me money.
There you go.
Okay, and I'm sure you have NDA templates on the website. I can just
we do, but we're going to have to do some better work on those. It's just a matter of time right now. I've been overwhelmed with the amount of work I've had to do lately, and we're bringing on a few. We vetted and have already trained a couple people to start picking up some of this work that we're going through right now. One of them's not too far from where I live. He's a great guy, and hopefully he's on the call. Stephen, you better be here.
I don't see
I told him to call.
Yeah.
And he's really a talented man. He's got some children that are adult children that want to participate, so we're going through the process, getting everybody up to speed. And so I lost my train of thought. I derailed my own train. I hate that.
We need to change the NDA, but you have all this work to do.
Yeah. So we're going to get a better NDA. We have a series of different types of NDAs, and I've got 4 right now. I think I need 2 more.
Okay.
So they'll be designed around family, designed around friends, designed around business associates, designed around anybody that you're going to be working with or near that's going to see your wealth. If you have to disclose anything, they need to sign an NDA. I'll have a 1-pager. Print them out.
Okay.
Take them with you. If you ever need them, they're there. You say, well, I really can't discuss that, but, if it's critical that and in this case maybe it is, you say, look, you need to sign an NDA and I can discuss it with you. And then just have them do it. Now, two things happen when you sign an NDA. Number 1, it shows your professionalism. Number 2, it shows how serious you are. And that's where we're at. We need to let people know that, there's some great things happen in my life and I can't discuss it. Just trust me, sign this here, and I can give you just a little bit of information. That's it. Let it go with that.
Great. I have 2 more questions. One's really short. I went back maybe about 6 months ago and listened to one of the YouTubes, and you had mentioned something about setting up post-RV group seminars. Is that still a plan?
Well, we're trying to. My health's not great. Carol's health's not great. But what we want to do is we've kind of got an idea about setting up a base of operation, probably Clearwater. And it might even have a little boutique hotel there. and bring people in, let them fly in, spend a couple days with us. I don't know so much as us going out and traveling too much. It goes back to cliche, bring Muhammad to the mountain, not the mountain to Muhammad.
Gotcha.
It's, both of us are older and we have medical issues that we're dealing with, but we can, easily sit there or work with people in a group environment at our office, main office.
Okay, thank you. And finally, I'm having a difficult time understanding how to use the certificates. Can you just give me a real simple explanation on that?
Sure. The certificates of beneficial interest show that you have interest in the trust. See, when you exchanged the property, whatever it may be, as an investor into the trust, you were given these certificates of beneficial interest, showing that you did exchange something. That's what you got back in value. Those are certificates of beneficial interest. They allow you to get disbursements. They allow you to move the certificates to other people. You can take a certificate. You usually issue 100. If it's just one trustee, he gets 2 certificates of 50. Let's say you want to bring some people into the trust. You want to bless them. And you can take one of those 50s, turn it back to the trust, right? Null and void. Scratch through the line in the trust. Then you add another certificate, and you break them down to say you want to give 2 people the benefits. So you give each one 25 units. In your kit, in the back on the right-hand side, behind the certificates, is another 65-pound stock, brown piece of paper, and all the verbiage is there. You simply take that certificate, stick it on top of the glass on your printer, put your certificate into the printer, and make sure you have the right side up or right side down, depends on how you're on your printer, and then just print it. And then you handwrite in the number, the name, and how many certificates this represents. How many units of interest does this represent? And then you hand it to them.
Okay, great. And everything's based on 100%.
It is.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you very much, and again, happy to be here. Thank you.
Thanks, Doctor. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Keith. Good questions. Yeah. Yep. Oh, here. Okay. Terry, I clicked you by mistake because there's other people in line.
Just one quick question. I'm sort of jumping the gun, or changing the modus operandi. It still has to do with the trust and whatever. It has to do with the website. Over the last couple of months, I have purchased a new computer, and I cannot log in using that new computer. The old computer, I can still log into it. So I'm not without information, but I do want to migrate to the new one. Can you?
Okay, why don't you give me a call Monday or so? I'm suspecting that your computer's set up with a VPN, and so if
yes, it is,
this is a good time to bring this up, because we've had this many times. Everybody knows, well, not everybody, a virtual private network, VPN, means now that you are showing somebody that you're in a foreign country for privacy, and yet you're coming back to America to go to the website. We are only allowing United States, Canada, Puerto Rico, and I think it's American Virgin Islands or British Virgin Islands, the ones that we have now that are allowed. Because we get, you wouldn't believe how many attacks we get, 300 or 400 attacks a day from Russia, China, oh my gosh.
Yeah,
so if you're using a VPN, folks, and you're saying, okay, I'm in Europe through the VPN, or I'm in Africa, or I'm South America, you're not going to get in the computer. It's going to reject you.
Yeah,
so make sure your VPN is not activated if you're going to log into our computer, our website, rather.
Okay.
So I suspect yours is set up that way.
If I deactivate the VPN while I try to log in, that should help it?
That will do it.
Okay.
I've tested that because I have a VPN. I use Opera as my browser, and it has a VPN built into it.
Yeah.
And then whenever I'm out and about, I'll use the VPN. But if I want to log into my own website, I got to turn it off.
Yeah. Well, there are several possibilities of why I'm getting why I can't log into it. I use Brave as my browser, and the VPN is set up to, right now I'm coming out of Dallas, right, for example, but I still can't log in. But anyway, I'll try disengaging that, and then if I have any trouble, I'll give you a call on Monday.
All right, thanks. Talk to you then about it.
Thanks. I'm sorry.
Okay. All right. Adrian, thank you for patiently waiting. Adrian, are you there?
Yes, ma'am. I'm here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I also hear a lot of interference in the background. Do you have something?
Oh, okay. I had the meditation, but I turned it down. Off. Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's better. What's up?
Mm-hmm. No, I don't have a question right now. Did I raise my hand? I'm sorry.
Okay, all right. I will talk to you later as we talked about earlier. Okay. All right.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Bye-bye.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Lauren, you're next.
Hey, Carol, Jim, Scott, Florida.
Hi, Scott.
The minutes for our trust, because they've been sitting collecting cobwebs in this box waiting for this do I have to do minutes for those trusts each year saying still waiting? Or do I wait till I actually activate them and do something with them?
No, you should go back and write a minute for each year and say there was the Board of Trustees is convened and there was no business this year, and that we are still anticipating business next year or something to that effect, and just sign it and put it in the back of the binder. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah. It's also a good time to write down on that last minute if you purchase any additional currency on behalf of the trust.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that sample minute is on the website, right, Jim?
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, I've seen it down there. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay. Pat, you're up next.
Hi, Carol. It's Pat.
Hi.
A question. My husband just recently died.
Sorry to hear that.
Is it just to put it in the minutes and attach a death certificate, or is there something else that I need to do?
Well, actually, Pat, I'm in the same boat as you are. My husband passed away last September, and it's just a matter of writing a minute. I don't think it's necessary to include the death certificate unless you want to, but we do have that sample minute also on the website. You will need to also void his certificate and reissue it to you or to whoever you choose, but all those instructions are on the website.
Okay. All right. Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. Bye-bye. Okay. Sandy.
Hi, Carol. My question is kind of along with Pat, because Pat and I talked last night. And what about the abstract? Does that need to be changed also, that we're going to take in?
If your husband's name is on the abstract and he's passed away or whatever, yes, we need to change the abstract.
So we just need to put the new successor trustee that's moved up, and they have to be with the notary. Isn't that correct?
That is correct. Now, just because one trustee died doesn't necessarily mean the successor is going to take his place. They can if you choose, but as the remaining trustee, you do not have to have them step up just yet.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that makes it easier. Okay.
So anyway,
that's it. Thank you.
You and Pat, no problem. Just you and Pat just each send me an email, and I'll try to take care of it for you. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Right.
Thank you.
And folks, while I mentioned sending an email, I also have to say that my email has been very spotty in the last couple of days. I haven't received any email on my computer. I have on my telephone, but somebody just called me a few minutes ago and said, well, where are you? You're supposed to be here. Well, I sent you an email 2 days ago. Well, they never got it. So if you send me an email and I don't respond, then the best thing to do is text me, and I will give out that number at the end of the call.
Carol?
Yes, go ahead.
In the interim, why don't we have them CC me so we both will know what's going on and I can help?
That's a good idea. Really good idea, Jim. You always have
so
those.
just do
anyway,
just do a carbon copy
right now. Yeah. There's no one in the queue right now, Jim. Is there anything you want to talk about particularly?
Only that I want to get the heck out of where I'm at, which we all know.
Another week.
I know. Yeah, I'm well, tell everybody I'm going to be on the road for a week, and I won't be able to respond too well to emails because I'll be traveling. Frankly, folks, what I'm doing is I'm doing a reconnaissance mission here. I'm going to Florida. I'm going to fly into Tampa, spend a couple days in Tampa, then I'm going to fly up, and then I'm going to drive up to Lake City, meet with some of my friends there that are helping me get things squared away up there, and I'll spend a couple days there, and then I'm going to go over to Jacksonville. I got a couple of people over there, and you guys know who I'm talking about. I'm going to visit with them, harass them to no end, and make them buy me dinner.
There you go.
And then I'm going to fly out. So it was originally supposed to be 5 days, but by the time I got everything scheduled, it turned into be a 7-day trip. And
that's not unusual.
Yeah, I know. So anyway, I will be traveling from Friday, this coming Friday, to 2 weeks from today. I'll be finally coming home. Wow.
2 weeks from today?
I'm leaving.
Yeah,
I'll be in York.
Okay.
We'll be having coffee a week from today.
Yes.
At your place.
Or somewhere near here, yes, for sure.
Exactly.
There you go. All right, we do have another question here.
Sure.
Let's see. Good morning, Una.
Hi, Carol. Sorry, I food. I'm good. I have a question regarding the annuity trust and the funding. Does the trust itself have the annuity? Would it have its own account, bank account, or is it pulling from the mother load?
It would have to have its own bank account because you can be writing checks out of it. The annuity trust can be the investor would be the mother load. You'd fund enough money to go buy the annuity, and then you'd have an EI number for the annuity trust because you're going to be cutting checks or giving debit cards to certain people that are going to benefit from that. It's your choice how you do it. Either give them a check, but the annuity trust buy certain things for them so the income is minimal through their Social Security number. And then whatever it buys for them is actually owned by the trust, but they have the use of the asset.
Oh,
so there's a couple of ways.
Say that again. Whatever they buy, they have access.
Well, let's say that you have some. I have a good example here. My younger brother is going to have an annuity trust. And he also, I just set up a trust and bought him a pickup and delivering it this week. And his mother load trust actually created the automobile trust, and then it's funding it. But it's funding it right now since we are on a loan from me. And then once that's done, I'll create the annuity trust. I'll use his mother load trust to be the investor of his annuity trust. We'll put the money in the annuity trust to be able to buy the actual annuity, which will be paid to the annuity trust, not his name. Doesn't go to his Social Security. And then the annuity trust buys certain things, like maybe he decides he wants to move into a different apartment or needs new furniture. Well, it could supply the furniture. The ownership of the furniture would be the annuity trust. He has the right to use it, but he doesn't own it. And then he'll get a small amount of money cash-wise. But since now we moved to this apartment, well, maybe his rent should be paid through the annuity trust. That's a possibility. Maybe his utilities should be paid through the annuity trust. That's a possibility. So you have to get a little bit creative. And the biggest thing you want to do is make sure that there's not a lot of cash. You don't want those bills to go through his Social Security number because that's taxable to him. And since he doesn't own the asset, the annuity trust pays for those things. He's just simply using it.
Oh, okay. It's just simply using it. But everything will go to the trust itself. All the expenses.
Yes.
Okay. So, the fact that my husband passed and I have him here as an investor on another trust, right?
Right.
How do I'm not going to use that trust as the mother-lode trust, as to change the, to exchange the funds in. I'm going to use the other one that I have. That's not going to be my mother-lode trust, but I still have to sort this out. How do I?
Well, why don't we?
Uh-huh.
Why don't we just because I think we're in a quandary here. Why don't you call me this week? Just call me, and we'll go over some of that stuff, figure out what to do with that.
Okay.
There's a couple things I want to talk to you about anyway. There was a couple things I know that you need done this week. It's just that I didn't get it done. I don't know if Carol got it done, but I have just been hammered with work this week.
Busy, yeah. I figure that this is a busy time. All right, so I'll call you then.
All right, let's do that, and then we'll add that to our stuff, and then we'll discuss it after the fact with one of the other calls. We won't use your name; we'll just use the experience, and I'll show you how to do that.
All right. Then. Thanks.
Thank you, Anna.
Okay.
Thanks, Anna. Yeah, that brings up a little reminder, I guess. A couple of our clients are concerned about taking care of their mom, who I believe is in a nursing home. And they want to give her some spending money, but they don't want to interrupt any benefits she may be getting, et cetera, et cetera. I suggested that through one of these trusts, they purchase a prepaid debit card for her so she can buy the little necessities that she needs. There's no income reported to her social because it's a blank debit card. So that's just something to think about if you want to give somebody some money without being too attached to it, having your name attached, even having their name attached. So let's see. We have another caller here. Hey, Gary.
Hey, Jim and Carol. This is Gary.
There you go. Hi there.
You got me? Okay. I just checked my trust. I've got 2 certificates that are signed and 2 certificates that are blank, but I don't have a blank copy of the words of the certificate. If I want to copy that onto another certificate page, am I supposed to have that?
Well, I don't remember when we issued that trust, but it should have been in a third page. Should have 2 certificates per trust for the creator to sign. The third one was not on the standard paper, the certificate paper. It's just a blank that you put on your plat. If you don't have it, I can send one to you. It's not a
I don't have that. I just checked.
Gary's trusts were created before we started doing that.
Oh, okay. Why don't you just send me an email, Gary, and have the trust name that we're talking about, and then I'll get that, and then all I have to do is go in there and create that, print it, and then I'll mail it to you because, you want it. What I'm trying to do is make sure we stay on the 65-pound stock because these are supposed to last for 20 years. So you want to put them on the cheapy 20-pound stationery.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
All right, Gary. Good. Thanks.
And have a safe trip.
Well, thank you. I plan on it. I hate the idea I got to wear a mask, which is the dumbest thing we've ever done.
Not here.
Start wearing masks. I know. That's why I'm moving there.
On that subject, from what I understand, most masks filter down to 0.5 microns, but the coronavirus is 0.13 microns, so that's like putting a chain link fence around a barn to keep the flies out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, here's a good example, and then we'll get off the subject, but some of us are old enough to remember the old Folgers 3-pound coffee can. It's got about a 10-inch diameter can.
Yep.
Right. That is using that as an example, that is the mask, and that's the hole through the mask, they're thinking the virus can go through. Well, the virus is like a BB in that can. That's about the size.
Exactly.
So that thing is not going to stop anything.
Exactly right.
Oh, by the way, did you guys know that the Latin definition for person is mask wearer?
No.
I think you told me that, or somebody did.
Yeah, it's true. Yep.
Weird. Very weird.
I know.
Unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it does dictate, if you think it through, this was pre-planned.
Oh,
so anyway, let's get off of this because it irritates me to no end.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. We start talking politics, we can be here all day.
I know.
Well, thank you, Jim.
You bet.
Take care, Gary. Okay.
Thank you, Carol.
Oh, you're welcome. Our queue is empty again.
All
Let's
right.
see what time it is. We've got quite a ways to go. It's only 1:36 here. So come on, you guys must have something on your mind. You usually do. So come on, guys. We're here for you. There we go. Blair, how are you today?
Hey, Jim. Hey, Carol. It's Blair from Texas.
Hi.
Hey, Blair.
Hey, question about the minutes. First of all, what needs to be notarized after you execute the trust? After that, what needs to be notarized into the future? Anything?
I can't think of anything that would do that, other than if you were going to create a very big contract with a company, you may want to get everybody's signature notarized saying they did this knowingly and voluntarily. Other than that, no.
Okay. And then when you're doing minutes and you have more than one trustee, should you have all trustees sign it or just the executive trustee stating that everybody bought off on whatever the minute is stating?
It can be both ways. If everybody's at the meeting, just have them sign it. If it's a phone meeting, then you need to record that and put it on a thumb drive, put it with the trust, and then you can make a statement that they agree. Example, that would be yesterday when I'm making my reservations out of here because of all this COVID stuff. They read something over the phone to me, and I had to say I agreed. It was recorded and shipped to the airline to let them know that I'm good about those restrictions. So if it works for them, it'll work for us. And that's what I would do. It's up to you, really. Well, you just need to, if it's in person, have them sign it. If it's not in person, make sure that they agree to it, and then just sign it as executive trustee.
Okay, sounds good. Hey, Jim, were you wearing the mask while you were on the phone with the airline? I think that's the law.
Yeah, actually, I was. Funny you would say that, because yesterday I was sitting here and I have a roommate now and a good friend. He's helped me out here, and we were joking about I don't hardly ever wear a mask, and so I bought some. And he says to me, he says, you should not be talking to anybody without a mask if you're talking about traveling. They're going to be watching you. Very good. So you're right on point with that, Blair.
Yeah. Well, you guys heard about the Spanish flu, right? That the majority of the deaths in the Spanish flu weren't due to the virus. It was due to bacteriological pneumonia caused by mask wearing.
Right.
Yep. I got that meme. It shows it was like 70% of the deaths were contributed to that. 25 were contributed to underlying issues that they already had, and about 10% the actual flu. It was an amazing document. When I read it, it's about 16 pages long. It was an amazing document. And we had lost more people. It's funny. In 2020, nobody died of anything except for COVID. There was no old people died. There was no car accidents. Nobody died in those. There was no suicide. There was nothing. They all died of COVID.
Crazy.
That's a joke.
Another question. I was just the only trustee, the executive trustee. I'm going to add my wife as a trustee and make her the second trustee. I didn't see in your minutes, it didn't really specify. Do I use 1 minute to make her trustee and another minute to make her the second trustee, or just when I make her trustee, just use 1 minute and say she is the second trustee?
Just the 1 minute would be fine.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah. And, I don't know if I'm getting too far in the weeds here with all this detail, but I'm just trying to get it all done ready for the RV. And the next thing was, I'm leaving it just be me going into the RV to avoid any complications. If they ask for my abstract, it just has me on it. If they ask for the trust document, it just has me on it. And as soon as I get out of there, I'm going to add my wife and change the certificates. And when I change the certificates, same question. Do I do 1 minute to revoke a certificate and 1 minute to put a new person as the owner of a certificate, or do I do it with 1 minute and say this certificate's revoked and replaced with whatever?
I would do it with 1 minute. Keep it simple. Just simply say something to the effect that, the Board of Trustees has had a meeting, decided to create a seat for a new trustee, and hereby is going to award that trustee one certificate of beneficial interest in the amount of 50 units, and it shall be reissued according to this minute. And you just take and void the one. You keep the minute with the trust forever. So you void it, and then you write a line through there where it's been voided in the trust itself, and you write void, and you just initial that. And then you can handwrite the person's name and how many units, just like you see above it, just handwrite it in there. Then use the template, get your certificate stock, which is, it's on our website, how to buy that. There are 15 certificates, I think, for $9. It's pretty cheap, really. And then you put it in the printer, print it, done. And then sign it.
Sounds good. Sounds good. How you guys have any feel for after the RV? You're going to have a lot of people, or at least I know I will be calling for different trusts. Are you guys going to still be up and running afterwards, or?
Oh yeah. In fact, I'm glad you brought that because we're not even taking time off. We're going to take a day or two to go get our stuff done. The rest is going to stick around and work. We initially said we were going to take 2 weeks off to get all of our affairs in order, but you know what? It's just not going to happen for us. We know that. We're ready. We're preparing. We'll be around. We'll take maybe a day and a half to just get our stuff organized, get our accounts, and then we're going to continue. We'll be on the phone constantly. I know it. And that's why we're setting up an office in Clearwater so we can bring in some people to process, and then no trust goes out unless they go by either myself or Carol. So we'll be spending most of our time in front of a computer proofing everything, and then once that's done, then it goes on to the guy or the gal or the team that's going to be printing and boxing and shipping. Yeah, we're good. We're going to stick around. Now, you do know we're not taking any more customers. We're not taking any more new customers post-RV. So anybody that's out there and hears this recording, if you want to be a customer after the RV, send me an email, and I'll put you in the queue. Make sure you do get a trust. But as far as publicly, we're going to go to a private situation. We're semi-private now, the way we got the trust or the website set up. So, but after this RV, we're not taking any more customers because Carol, I'd like to retire eventually.
Whatever that means.
Yeah, really.
Where's the fun in that?
I'm sorry? What was that?
Where's the fun in that?
Oh, yeah, exactly. Well, I don't know. I've never fully retired. I've got disabled once and didn't work for a couple of years now. It was really terrible. Boring, but I don't know. I'm going to have a boat, I'll guarantee you that.
That same here.
It may be a dinghy, but by golly, it's a boat.
It'll be a boat.
Well, while you're on the boat subject, let me ask you this question, a little bit off the beaten path. But when I get a boat, I'm going to want one of my sons to be checked out as a full-fledged certified, yacht captain. So sure. I'm going to say go to the school and do it. How would you pay for that out of the trust?
The trust that you're going to create for the boat. Okay, so here's what you do. We go back to what we were saying. It becomes the investor into the trust that's going to have the boat. And in there, you stipulate in your paperwork that this money is for, the boat, the maintenance, the fuel, the insurance, crew training, and crew update training. There you go. You're covered. So you just write it to, and you can all handwrite this, and it's not a big deal. You don't have to do all the typing and just handwrite it out. And you can just add it when we set this thing up. If you let me know that you're doing that, and if we set the trust up for you, it'd help you set that up. You really don't need us, but if you did, we'll help, and we'll help you with some of that nomenclature. I should put something on the website about that. I think I will. My boat crew training. Yeah, I haven't got enough stuff to do already, right? All right, yeah, I'll add that. But that's all you do. So you just add that to your trust, that's part of the things that you're going to be funding, is the training of the crew.
Okay. And when you have multiple trusts, when you're going to have mother lode and then real estate, annuity, vehicles, all that stuff, the trust itself, as far as taxes go, is a standalone entity that you'll fill out a form if it exceeds more than $600 in income. And if it loses money, it really doesn't matter because you don't apply it to personal because it's not connected to you personally. So you may have one trust that has a big income, but you may have another trust that has a loss. Is there a way to spread that around so that you maximize those deductions across all your trusts? And what I was thinking about was whether or not you can kind of rotate your certificates as needed so that, like if your mother lode was the exchanger for a subtrust and it has 100% of the certificates from that subtrust, say it's a rental real estate or something, and that trust has a big profit. Well, the mother lode is also the exchanger for another trust, and it has 100% of those certificates, and that entity is a big loser. Is there a way that you can change the certificates around to transfer some of the losing for tax benefits to the income-producing property to balance out?
Let me interrupt you real quick here. That is a question that will not be resolved until we know exactly what's going to happen with the Internal Revenue Service.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
But I would say you could do that. We do this with corporations. You do it with corporations all the time.
Okay.
So, we move assets and liabilities and move debt and so on and so forth. So it should be easily done, but I would hire somebody to do that. It's kind of beyond my desire to do any of that because I don't like dealing with the IRS.
Yeah.
But yes, they're not my favorite people.
That's a question for the back burner. I don't really need an answer or figure that out right now. I'm just trying to think in the future. And
but it's a good question. Great question.
Last question along those lines is on the trust that we set up, my mother lode trust, that was just for currency. After the RV happens, my existing currency and accounts, should I move that into that same mother lode trust if I want to protect it, or should I set up a whole new mother lode trust that was not the foreign currency monies, but were my other monies from retirement and things?
Depends on what your goal is here. Remember, the mother lode trust is to remain and kept as private as possible. Nobody needs to know about it. If you're going to put other assets in there, you can do that. But, my biggest challenge is something that you bring into it may have a lawsuit challenge or some other thing, and now you're going to bring all that grief into the mother lode trust. You never know how people are, right? You never know somebody's going to come after you. So I would keep for me, I'm going to keep my mother lode trust virgin. It's not going to have anything but what I put in it the first time. That's it. And I won't add anything to it. I will create second trust, of course. I know how to do that, so I can do second trust.
Well, better safe than sorry. That sounds good. That's all my question, guys. Thanks for all the help. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, Blair. Hey, Jim, we have got a few more. We've got about 10 minutes left, so those of you who are already in the queue, fine, but no more after this. We will have to end this call at the top of the hour. Okay. Don, you're next.
Okay, I have the mother lode, and I'm a trustee of the mother lode, and I want to invest in like a mini storage business. When I do that, can I, as a trustee of the mother lode, also be a paid employee of the investment trust?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So I can draw a full salary there. I don't have to worry about it as long as it's reasonable, I suppose.
Well, yeah. I mean, remember that anything you bring into your personal Social Security number is going to be taxable to your personal Social Security number at a higher rate. So you may, depending on what happens with the Internal Revenue Service, I'm suspecting they're going to go away. And if that happens, then you won't have to worry about it. But I think you're going to have to wait until we see what happens just a little after post-RV if this thing changes. We can work on that, though, with you when you get ready to do it. And, of course, your wealth managers will have a lot of information for you when you go through the exchange process.
Okay. Now, another question. What if I wanted to give, like, some money, $15,000 to a bunch of my relatives? How do I do that? Do I have to set up a different trust to do that?
You have to? No. But you're going to have a tax consequence if you're not careful. For you, too, not including them. So it's a matter of being really careful about how you do that stuff.
Well,
I mean, your wealth managing company will be able to tell you a lot about this.
Oh, okay.
So, we don't know exactly what's going to happen with the IRS, but we do know they're not going to be the same. So I would say go with your wealth managers. Find out what they say.
Let's say that I put $1 million at that investment company. Do I do that as a note that they have to pay that back to the mother lode? How does that work?
Well, if it's an investment, yes. And you have to have an interest rate on it and a set of terms.
So they would pay it back to the mother lode then, right?
Exactly.
Okay. Otherwise, they would just act like a business and they'd cover their expenses, et cetera, et cetera.
But basically what the contract trust is a business. It's a business trust designed for what we're doing.
Okay. I think you've answered my question. Thank you.
Thank you, Don. Okay, Linda, you are next.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, I wanted to make sure I was unmuted. About 10 days ago, I spoke with you about making some major changes to my trust, and I emailed those to you. And I was just wondering when I might expect them, or if you've already done them, if you've got a price for me for the changes. I did send you an email, but I understand you're not getting your email. So.
Yeah, I did get your email with that, requesting the price, et cetera.
Okay.
As Jim says, my health has not been good, especially this week. So I will go through my records and see what I've done, and I will try to get to it this week. Just to let you all know, I have hip surgery coming up, and I'm not doing real well. So if I don't respond to you right away, just continue to email me or text me, and I'll get to it when I can.
Okay. And do you know off the top of your head if those changes have been made yet? Has it been mailed to me?
I don't believe so, Linda. I will check on it, though.
Okay. Okay. And you're going to give out your texting address, correct?
Yes, I am. Uh-huh.
Okay. Thank you. That's all I need.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye. Lauren, you have another question?
Hey, Jim. Scott again.
Scott, rather. Yeah.
At the beginning, when you were talking about when you're doing the mother lode trust and you're investing in the other trust, you're going to sign it a certain way. I missed all that. How to sign the other trust? As an organizer, I think you said, or something.
Jim, are you there?
Hello?
Jim, are you there?
Sorry, I had my phone muted.
Okay. Shame on you.
I had some noise came in the background, so I muted it, forgot to unmute it. See how I am? I'm terrible.
Yeah.
No, Scott, what you do is whenever you're representing the trust, you want to put down your name, what you are, and then the limiter. So For me, it's Jim Knox, comma, trustee, comma, and not as otherwise. So they can't come after me personally. So that's the limiter. So it's Jim Knox, comma, trustee, comma, and not as otherwise.
Perfect. Thank you.
You bet.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay, Sandy, you going to close us out today?
Carol, I think this is for you, and I don't know if you'll understand what I'm saying, but we're working on a trust for my grandchildren. And my grandchildren are not doing right. We'll just leave it like that.
Okay.
So I'm going to be on there as a trustee, and one of them, and the rest of them would be successor trustees. So I want to change that, and we haven't finished this. And could I make that a management trust?
No.
You could make it a regular trust, management trust. It doesn't matter. But I would.
First off, is the EI number already issued? Is the EI number already issued? Do you have it all?
Yes.
In the name?
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
Yes. No, I think it's in my name. Oh, wait a minute. I don't know. Carol got it.
Well, I don't know. Okay.
Right now, I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah. I know you don't.
The way I'm looking at this right now, I'm going to say, if you're trying to make it a management trust that's already got an EI number and funded, yeah, we can do that. In my opinion, you probably want to do it a little differently, but it would work. Now, when you do that, you're going to have a set of contracts, and we can do those, if I'm understanding everything you're trying to do. So you've got some grandchildren that aren't doing what they should be doing, and you're trying to put a little more control over the money. Is that basically it?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, you can just do that with your trust. You can convert it over to what you're trying to do. And all you have to do is set up the laws, set up the rules. Hey, now you have a trustee besides yourself, and then you have the rest of them successor trustees.
Yes.
Okay, I have to
That's
think
the way
about
to
that.
do it. Huh?
Well, I need more information. Why don't you do this, Sandy? Because and what we'll do the next time we have a call, we'll probably bring this back up and review it with everybody, because I need to think that one through. There's a couple issues that popping up my head, red flags. So why don't you call me Monday or so? I've got so much to do this weekend. I'm trying to get everything ready for the trip. My roommate and I are going to try and get everything done, ready. So we have to work very hard this coming week with the people, and so we're going to try and get everything done this weekend and get everything sitting. And basically, call me Monday. I'll figure it out. I just need more facts.
Yes, I'll give you more.
I'll get my number out here shortly when we get off the phone. Yeah, I want to get. I can fix this.
Okay.
Okay.
What's
Thanks,
that, Carol?
That's it. That's it.
All right. All right, Jim. Okay, Jim, and we are almost at the top of the hour. You want to give out your contact information?
Sure. I'm actually going to give people out my 800 number. So my name is Jim Knox. I'm in Oregon. I'm on West Coast time. My phone number is 866-341-6907. I prefer not to be texted. I prefer email. So it's security@indicatorinformation.com. I work between 9 and 6 Monday through Friday. Prefer to have my weekends off. And but you can email me anytime, and I generally will respond and say I'm working on it, or I'll get right on that, or I'll set up a time that we can talk on the phone. Be sure and put your email or your phone number in there so I can call you. And Carol?
Okay, thank you. Thanks to all of you for your time and attention. My name is Carol Werelius. My number is 877-333-5018, and I'm typically available between 10 and 6 Eastern Time. And usually the best way to reach me is by email, info@indicatorinformation.com. However, as I mentioned, my email doesn't seem to be working very well these days, so if it's urgent, as Jim suggested, if you're going to send me an email, copy him so at least one of us gets it. My cell number is 206-915-4236 if you want to text me. Have a happy and safe weekend, everybody, and go RV. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Bye-bye.